Hey folks, Crosstown Gamer here, and today we're going to be continuing our playthrough of Falling Sky, the Gallic Revolt against Caesar, number 6 in the Coin series. Now here's a quick peek at the state of the board, and I just wanted to mention that I did get a bunch of really great comments in that there were a few rules mistakes that were made, but again, I really appreciate the feedback, and we're all learning together. The rules are complicated enough as it is, but then when you add these bots in, that's when it gets really tricky. So hopefully, I mean the comments were made on previous videos, so we're a little bit too late to be able to adjust for them in the current board state. However, hopefully we can all have learned from them, myself in particular, so that we don't make the same mistake twice. We want all of our mistakes going forward to be new mistakes. Last side note here, I did count out the last 12 cards on the bottom of the deck, which is the last winter card, or 13 cards, sorry. And so it's 12 cards plus the winter card. We can decide when we get to the bottom of the stack if we want to play through the last winter or treat the third winter card as the last winter in this scenario. It will have an effect on how we play some of the bots because some of their conditions have criteria such as, like, is this the last winter card and it's, X, Y, and Z. So we are going to treat the third winter as the last one for the sake of the bots, because I think we're going to end up stopping there. But we might play through the whole thing, in which case we'll have made some modifications to the bot unintentionally there. So just be prepared for that when it comes about. Otherwise, we're going to get going. And the three of us are eligible here, and the Belgae are not from last time. So the first card that comes up is Convictolitavis, and it's a capability, which means a power for the rest of the game. And the Aedui are up first, and they probably want to take this because it makes their Suborn maximum of 2 regions instead of 1, and that's going to be pretty powerful for them. Let's double check though. Are they first on the upcoming card but not the current card? Well, this isn't true because they're first on the current card. Can they use the event? Yes. Is it... See, this is the capability in final year. No, we're still in the second winter, so no anyway, but this will have an effect later in the game. So no, we're going to use the unshaded texts for the event, and so they are going to make their Suborn more powerful. For this, I like to take the card and actually put it near their faction sheet. I'm going to put it on their faction sheet so we don't forget what that does. And then there's a handy marker for all of these. I can dig around and find it at some other point in time. But the idea is, it doesn't matter too much. Oh, it's probably the blue one. Nope. Anyway, when I find the marker, then you will end up placing it on their faction sheet or somewhere on the board where we can find it easily and know, like, to watch out for that situation. But the card should suffice for now. So their Suborn is going to be double powerful. So that's going to be they did the event, so that's down here. Then the second eligible, we have to look at the same card to get that, and it's the Arverni. So let's check on the Arverni's chart, which, trying to open it up one-handed isn't working so well. Okay. Vercingetorix or 10 plus Arverni warbands where Romans or Aedui have an ally Citadel Legion. Okay, so Vercingetorix is with 10 plus warbands, but the Romans nor the Aedui are there. They're not there. And down here where they do intermix, there's not enough warbands to satisfy the criteria, so no. Can they use the event? No, because the Aedui used it. So they jump down here. 0 to 8 warbands on the map, or rally would place 2 plus allies or citadels, or 6 plus pieces total. Let's take a look. So they can only place allies where they have control, and here they already have the maximum number of allies and citadels available, so they can't place one here, even though they have other ones. Same with here, because they don't have control of those regions. They can place one here, so that's one, but nowhere on the board is really ripe for the picking, so that's just one. Or the other part of the criteria was that they'd be able to do 6+ pieces. And they get the number of allies and citadels +1, plus an extra one for Vercingetorix. So just in like these two regions, we have 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7. Like it's definitely enough, and they can place the ally there. So that's a yes. So it looks like they're going to rally. First, they're going to try to place citadels. I don't think they're in. Yeah, they're not in a city right now. So no. Then they're going to try to place allies first. So it'll cost 1 resource or 2 if it's devastated, and they can only rally in devastation with Vercingetorix. So this is the only place, like we mentioned before, so that will cost 1 resource for them, bringing them down to 4, and they will get to place their ally, which now we're in a world of hurt here because they have exceeded 8, which is their half of their victory condition. The other half is that the off-map legions exceed 6, and they're at 6 right now, so they're close to winning, but that's what we're doing down here. We're trying to clear them out and get a good supply line going. So let's not worry about it too much just yet. Then we have, they're going to rally, basically it says wherever possible, to add pieces. So that's going to be here, 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 and here. That's 4 more locations in which they can add things. So it's going to cost 4 resources to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, putting them at 0. Good thing we're early on in this winter phase, or this year, so that hopefully they can't do a lot to get a bunch more resources, etc. They can't just do a bunch of stuff. So they get 1, 2, 3 warbands down here for that. I believe this does flip control. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 6, 7 to 7. Well, it makes it so it's uncontrolled. Notice the Adui piece plus the 6 here, total 7, and they have 7 pieces as well, so no more control. And I forgot to take away 1 from our victory points for when they added the ally there. Okay, so that was here. Then here they get 1 plus an extra 1, so 2. And just to show you really quick the procedure for rally again. So it's equal to the number of leaders, allies, or citadels plus 1, so that because there are many. So that's why we're doing those plus 1s in there. They already rallied here to place the ally. So here they get 1, 2, and then a 3rd for being Auvergne. And then up here they get a whopping 4, I think. 1 for this ally, 1 for that ally, 1 for the leader, and then 1 for being green. So they just have... I'm not going to use the overflow box right now, but I'm tempted. It's pretty crowded up there. They're going to have to do something eventually. They have this huge army, and they're just not doing anything. Okay, that was their rally. Next, their special ability. Whoopsie doodles. Let's see. Then Devastate. So we have to first check if Devastate actually costs anything. Some of the special abilities do cost resources. Devastate does not have a cost. Entreat does, and that's it. So if they can't Devastate, they're not going to be able to do anything because they will want to entreat, but they don't have resources. Okay, in each region where they're able to force the removal of a legion or 2 auxilia, or at least as many Roman and Adui pieces as total Auvergne, they're going to Devastate. Yeah. So 1 in 3 pieces here, for example. So if we recall, Devastate removes 1 and 3 pieces from the Averni, and then they get to remove 1 and 4 pieces from the opponents. There's only 3 pieces here, so that's a 0 versus a 1 that they would have to remove. So they're not going to do that here. Wait a second, they don't have Roman control. Oh no, they rallied there. Okay, yeah, we forgot to adjust for control. I was wondering what was going on. They do get control there. We said no there. They already had control in those other spots. Okay. And let's just double check the locations where this is viable, because that's where I've gotten into trouble in the past. Any Averni controlled regions? Oh, within 1 of Vercingetorix. Okay, we are going to be safe. Thank God I checked, because the only place that are Averni controlled within 1 of Vercingetorix is this region right up here. And so let's see if they would force enough of a removal. What is the devastate? It's just at least as many Roman and Aedui pieces as total Averni. So 0 to a bunch, they're not going to devastate. So yeah, they don't satisfy the requirement there. They're going to entreat. They can't entreat because it'll cost resources. So it looks like no, if none, yeah, no special ability. So long-winded story to tell you no special ability. Then we're going to adjust our eligibility, and we're going to move this over here, and migration is up next. Okay, so the Belgae are first eligible, as per the old box there. Looks like they don't want to use the event. It's a no, but let's check their criteria. Okay, and this is true. However, oh yeah, now I think they can ambush to battle here. So we're gonna this is true in this region right here. They have 4 warbands and against an ally. So yes. And Ambiorix does not meet the condition. The other locations don't meet the conditions for battle. Because here, this is a German encampment. So they wouldn't want to battle here anyway, because it says battling non-Germans. And then up here, they don't have enough warbands. And even if they did attack, then we would end up doing a lot more damage than they would. So they're not going to battle there. However, if they're able to ambush, then they might, which would be worse for us. So ambush. In the first battle per the box to the left, but only if retreat could lessen removals and or counterattack loss to Belgic possible. Yep, this is true. This is what I was just talking about, where if they didn't ambush, then it would not meet the box at the left, because they would be having higher Belgic losses than enemy losses. So let's just double check that they are capable of ambushing. Battles that begin with, oh, no. Okay, more hidden Belgae than hidden defenders, and within 1 region of Ambiorix. So they cannot... I think this is exactly what I got in trouble for doing in like video 2 or something. So this is not within 1 region of Ambiorix, and they don't have more hidden warbands than the defender. Down here, same story. It is within 1 of Ambiorix, but they can't ambush because they have fewer warbands than we have hidden auxilia. Okay, so they can't ambush, which means the other thing they could do is rampage, etc. And this isn't going to... Right, we're checking if they're going to ambush or anything before. If they were to rampage... a faction, not the Germans, removes or retreats one of its warbands per hidden Belgic warband there. Okay, so if they were to rampage, for example, and again, this has to be within one of Ambiorix, and so if they rampaged here, this would force the removal of 2 of my units, warbands, auxilia. And yeah, of its warbands or auxilia. So we would get to make that choice. So we would have to retreat out too. We would still have more oomph in our fight. So they don't want to fight us there, which is good. And then the last thing they could do is entreat, which isn't going to... Ooh, yeah, I guess if they entreated to battle up here potentially, let's see if they're able to do that. I think actually... Or sorry, enlist. I keep saying entreat. Enlist might cost money. No, it doesn't. Only where there's battles already. Okay. Yeah, and they're not battling up there. So they're not going to do any of the battle things because it doesn't meet the box. It's a long-winded explanation to say, we've checked all these things. None of them qualify. Let's go back to here. No. Are they first on the upcoming card but not on the current card? That's a yes. They are first on the upcoming card, but not on the current card. So they are going to roll a 1 through 4, or a 6-sided die, sorry, and if they get a 1 through 4, then they will pass. They got a 1. So it looks like they are going to opt to pass in order to be on deck for the next event. Passing will give them 1 resource. So they are going to pass. Which leaves us. We can do joined ranks, or we can wait around. If we wait around, we won't be able to do anything on that card because all 3 factions ahead of us are going to be eligible. So we should do something now. We can free march to a group of 8+ pieces, or free march a group of 8+ pieces to a region that already has at least 2 of their factions. Okay, so we could essentially battle for free down here because it has 2 other factions, and we would team up versus the Arverni there. That's tempting, but I was hoping to actually do a little more damage. I wanted to go up here and also force removal of pieces. And we get to do whatever we want. We get a full turn. So I think we want to battle here. And optionally we can do some cool stuff with our special abilities, like besiege and things, or build. Battles with legions attacking enemy allied tribes. Before inflicting losses, we can remove the defending citadel or ally. So, oh, that's so good. Doesn't cost anything. No leaders required. So all it needs is legions attacking enemy allied tribes or citadels. So here we would choose to fight the Arverni, and we'd be attacking against their allied citadels, and same with here, their ally thing. I think... It doesn't seem like there's a limit. I can besiege anywhere that I'm battling. Any battles, multiple, plural. Cool. Citadel still has losses. Oh yeah, okay. So I think that's what we'll do. It costs 2 resources per region, and we're going to do it... Honestly, we should do it in 3 regions, because we should also do it up here. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So it'll cost 6 resources to do, because it's 2 per space, bringing us down to 7. Ugh. Wish we had more. And we're going to besiege in all 3 of our battles here. which means that we get to, before inflicting losses, remove a defending citadel or ally. So the citadel will still have the losses, but we get to remove it. So we're picking here. Ah, man, I just don't want to bung this up, so I'm going to actually look at the rules for besiege and make sure I'm just not missing anything really quick. Okay, yep, so the besiege stuff is exactly like I thought it was, and I did take a little extra time to read about the non-player retreating again. Especially when retreating against Romans, the Gauls can retreat in place, so they don't actually have to go to another location. And I was just reading up a little bit about that. So let's go through it real quick. We're going to be battling in 3 spots. So up here, and then these 2 regions down here. Let's go ahead and do this one first, so I can talk about the retreat stuff. And again, they're going to decide whether they want to retreat first, and then they're going to then the besiege kicks in after they've declared retreat or not, because it's just before the losses are incurred. So non-player retreat when they need to ensure the survival of their last defending piece. In this case, we will have 1, 2, 3, 4 losses, and they have like 6, 7 pieces, so they're not going to ensure the survival of their last defending piece. Not a big deal. If they're Roman, so no. And if they are defending without a fort or citadel, and a retreat itself would not remove any defending pieces, and when they cannot guarantee inflicting at least half the losses against the attacker that they will suffer, regardless of how many pieces will be removed. So down here, they do have a fort or citadel, so they're not going to retreat, and they wouldn't anyway because they have 2 loss points, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, which gets cut in half because the citadel down to 2. So they actually have the same number of losses as we will have, which is more than half, which is required by the retreat. So they're not going to retreat, which means we get to kick out their citadel. So that can go back. Let's just do that. Like this. And we get to pick whether it's the citadel or the ally, because we're the attacker in this case. We're besieging. So that still has the losses, and again we have 1 point of loss, 2 points of loss from the legions, and then 2 more from the warbands. So that's going to be a 1 and a 2. And now, I guess they might have retreated if they didn't have this, because now during the counterattack step, they only have enough for 1 loss. So that's going to be this Roman warband right here. And so we put these back right here and here. So we attacked, then they got to counterattack, and that was good. We got a point back for that because we took out one of their allied tribes, which is excellent. Okay, here, I think if they're defending versus Caesar, then the legions count double. I don't think they can. I don't think that affects retreat at all. Yeah, it doesn't. Anyway, so here they have to decide whether they want to retreat. We have 1, 2, 3, because these count double now, and then 3.5 points of loss, which gets, if they were to retreat, would get cut in half down to 1.5, which would be 1 loss. Are they going to retreat? So it's 3.5 losses, which would round down to 3, and they have 4 pieces here. It will not ensure the survival of their last remaining piece if they retreated. However, I don't know how the interplay between this and besiege is. If they're making the decision to retreat now, then it's like I've declared that I'm going to besiege this, so I'm going to take this away anyway. And now this would take out their last remaining piece. I think, though, because the retreat needs to be declared before besiege takes effect, then this will not count as retaining their last piece. They're not Roman. They don't have a citadel or fort. And so can they guarantee inflicting at least half the loss points that we will? So if they retreated, they would get 1 point of loss. Or no. If they didn't retreat, sorry, if they stood and fight, they would have 1 loss point. And again, we would have like 3 here. 1, 2, 3.5, which rounds down to 3. That's less than half. So on the thing, they can't guarantee inflicting at least half the losses. Then it looks like they are going to retreat. So, because they can only do 1 to our 3 loss points. So they will retreat, and it does say in the rules that Gauls retreating from Romans leave all hidden warbands in place. Again, if they have hidden warbands, they are allowed to remain hidden in the same region. They don't have to actually retreat to another region. So they are going to retreat. This will inflict half losses. So we get to remove this first because of the besiege, and then since they're retreating, it's half losses, and we again said 3.5 rounds, cuts in half to 1.75, which rounds down to 1, so we do get 1 of their warbands as well. They don't counterattack because they retreated. So just like that, they're well under their victory point threshold again, thank goodness. And we got an extra point from that because we have another subdued allied tribe. And then the last location. All right, up here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loss points. So a retreat would ensure the survival of their last remaining piece. Because they have 4 pieces here, and so 5, if they retreated, it would cut down to 2.5, which would be 2, and they have 4 pieces left. So to ensure the survival of their last remaining piece, they're going to retreat, and they have hidden warbands, so these get to retreat in place. This cuts the losses in half. Again, what we said, we had 3, 4, 5 losses. Cut in half is 2.5, rounds down to 2. The besiege will allow us to take an allied tribe, and then we get 2 losses extra from the actual battle. So we'll take these 2. We can't unfortunately take the allied tribe disc because there are warbands there guarding it. Those are removed last. But that's okay. It's the last thing there. Next turn we'll be able to get it, no problem. So this did allow our victory conditions again to go up, and this time the Belgic victory conditions went down because we got rid of one of their discs, their tribes. Okay, and that's a battle in Besiege, and we're not going to battle up there because it's a lost cause. And I guess we could battle down here, but it would cost 2 resources to take out this Adui piece that's not doing anything, so we're not going to do that. And that's the turn. So we did our special ability, we did our thing. We can adjust eligibility now. The Belgae passed, so they get to remain there, and then everyone else gets to go to eligible. And the next card on deck is going to be Migration, followed by Germanic Horse. Oh, another Belgae event. So we'll see how that plays out next time. I do think I probably need to adjust points and eligibility and such. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I can do that later. Just taking a look here again. The Belgae are going to be up first, and then the Arverni will get to go, and then us and the Aedui are going to play on this capability. And looking ahead, So, hard-hitting auxiliaries. Romans may inflict 1 loss per auxilia in 1 region per... Oh, so this... Oh, yeah, it's the German horses. Okay. The Gauls are very afraid of the German horses. So in this, if we took this capability, our battles become more effective. We actually get 1 loss per auxilia instead of half of a loss point, which is huge. It's only in 1 region, but it's better than a poke in the eye for sure. So, I need to adjust control. That's what I didn't do down here. So it's still uncontrolled because it's 5 to 5, but here we flipped control of this, so we actually get control back from the Averni player. Lovely. Okay, that's gonna do it. Wrap up for the end of this video. We got through a couple more cards. Again, it's quite a thick stack, so we'll see how many it takes, but we'll get through it. And thanks again for watching, and thank you so much for those of you that have commented out some of the rules mistakes. I'm learning a lot as we go, and I really appreciate it. So hopefully in the future I'll make fewer and fewer mistakes as we go on. It's those darn bots. Anyway, until next time, have a great rest of the week or weekend, whenever you're watching this, and we'll see you.